The Indian Army has a new weapon to flaunt, with Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, having developed a multiple rocket launcher, Pinaka, for it with a range of 70 kms. Pinaka rockets will be bought for an estimated cost of Rs 40 crore for 22 regiments of multi-barrel rockets launchers. Here's what you need to know. Pinaka multi-barrel rocket launcher system is an indigenous weapons system designed and developed by DRDO and produced in collaboration with L&T and Tata Power Set in India only. The system was used effectively in Kargil War. DRDO tested a new version of the rockets which can be guided to land bang on enemy targets. It can be used to carry out surgical strikes even without crossing the border. It will also help in reducing the weapons system requirements for the Army. It can also help reduce requirements for imported Russian Smerch long-range rocket systems. Army has already inducted 10 regiments of the Pinaka missiles in its artillery wing. Missile deployed on both Pakistan and China borders. Pinaka makes use of the very advanced inertial navigation system, INS, which uses a computer, motion sensors, and rotation sensors to calculate the position, orientation, and direction of a moving object. Pinaka is capable of working in different modes, namely autonomous mode, standalone mode, remote mode, and manual mode. DRDO is also working on fitting GPS guidance systems on the rockets, and developing missiles with a baffling range of as much as 120 kms. What's surprising is the fact that Pinaka is approximately 10 times cheaper than its American peer, the M270. It is currently the most modern tank in service with the Indian Ground Forces. T-90 uses a 125mm 2A46 smoothbore tank gun, 1 G46 gunner sights, a new engine, and thermal sights. In all, India plans to have 310 T-90S and 1,330 T-90M tanks in service by 2020, total of 1,657 tanks by 2020. It has a new engine, jamming system, laser warning receivers. These tanks can be used for more than 3 decades with little or no midlife improvement. The tank has a fire control system which includes day and night sighting system mounted at the commander's station, which allows the detection of a target between the ranges of 700m to 1100m during night. T-90 are amongst the top 5 best tanks of the world, where no Chinese or Pakistani tank can make a place. With around 1,400 tanks with different variants of basic T-90. India is the largest modernized tank force in South Asia. Developed under Project 15A, the Kolkata class are the largest indigenously designed and built surface combatants in India. They are equipped with a wide variety of equipment from countries like Italy, main gun, Ukraine, gas turbines, Israel, jointly developed LRSAM, and Russia, jointly developed BrahMos, which gives it the advantage of having cutting-edge technology from the East and the West, infused into an Indian platform. Displacing 7,500 tons, the Kolkata class is the most powerful warship class in the Indian fleet, and will soon be joined by 4 ships of the Visakhapatnam class, which will have a similar configuration and capabilities with minor improvements. On April 20th, the Indian Navy launched its latest and by far the most powerful and advanced stealth destroyer ship called the INS Visakhapatnam. Once christened as an Indian naval ship in July 2018, INS Visakhapatnam will be the most advanced Indian destroyer warship to sail the battle waters. The 163-meter-long and 7,300-ton heavy devourer will have 8 supersonic BrahMos anti-ship missiles, 32 barricade long-range surface-to-air missiles, multi-function surveillance threat alert radar system, and twin-tube torpedo and rocket launchers. Apart from this, It will also be the only Indian warship with total atmosphere control system, which will enable the crew on board to function without any life support system in regions of nuclear, chemical, or biological fallout. By far the biggest and the most expensive aircraft carrier in the Indian Navy, this 45,000 kilo sea monster can carry up to 24 MiG-29K fighters and 6 ASW/AEW helicopters. INS Vikramaditya is fitted with sensor suites that keep it from being tracked by airborne radar systems. Over 70% of the ship has been refurbished and its life expectancy is over 40 years. The Navy prepared it with more improvements, including arming it with Israeli Barak missiles and drones. Lots of drones. INS Vikramaditya has the capability to operate both in offensive and defensive modes. It has been equipped with hard power assets such as frigates, missile boats, and attack submarines that can change the outcome of a maritime conflict. The induction of MiG-29K in Vikramaditya has provided a significant boost to the maritime reconnaissance range of Indian Navy. They are also equipped with lethal BBR, beyond visual range, and anti-ship missiles. NAG is a third-generation, fire and forget, anti-tank guided missile developed by India's state-owned Defence Research and Development Organisation, DRDO, to support both mechanist infantry and airborne forces of the Indian Army. The missile incorporates an advanced passive homing guidance system and possesses high single-shot kill probability. It is designed to destroy modern main battle tanks and other heavily armored targets. NAG can be launched from land and air-based platforms. The land version is currently available for integration on the NAG missile carrier, Pinaka, which is derived from a BMP-2 tracked infantry combat vehicle. The helicopter-launched configuration, designated as Helicopter-Launched NAG, Helena, can be fired from Dhruv Advanced Light Helicopter, ALH, and HAL Rudra, ALHWSI, attack helicopter. And reckoned as world's only anti-tank missile which has a complete fiberglass structure, NAG weighs 42 kilograms, and can engage targets at ranges 4-5 km at a flight speed of 230 meters per second using infrared imaging system. Namaka is the NAG missile carrier which is capable of carrying 12 missiles with 8 of them in ready-to-fire mode. Namaka's amphibious capabilities allow it to conquer almost any water body. INS Arihant is a complete package of destruction and mass annihilation. The eye-opener fact about INS Arihant is its firepower. INS Arihant is equipped with 12 K-15 short-range ballistic missiles, each 10 meter long and weighing 6.3 tons. Each missile has a 1-ton nuclear warhead and can hit targets 700 kilometers away. The range of the missiles can be drastically extended to 2,000 kilometers by reducing the payload to around 200 kilograms. It can also carry 4K-4 missile with a range of 3,500 kilometers when carrying a 2.5-ton warhead. The distance of Kashmir to Kanyakumari is 2,856 kilometers. So you can guess the range. In addition to that, the sub will also carry 6 torpedoes and other anti-ship/land attack cruise missiles. It is enough to scare away anyone. The INS Arihant is a 6,000-ton submarine that is capable of launching nuclear weapons from underwater. Arihant is an SSBN, that is a submarine that can carry ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. SSBNs are equipped with better stealth features and are larger compared to SSNs, which are nuclear-powered attack submarines. SSBNs are also said to be the best guarantor of a second strike capability in a nuclear exchange. INS Chakra is one of the quietest nuclear submarines around, with noise levels next to zero. INS Chakra is ahead of American subs in terms of stealth, and it is also more advanced than any other conventional sub. It is a true hunter-killer submarine in the world. Its main target is surface ships and other subs when needed because it's an SSN. Sensing ballistic missile threat from Pakistan and China, India launched the BMD defense system. A ballistic missile is a short-range missile guided during very brief periods of flight, and can fall almost anywhere since its flight is governed by gravity. BMD system can take down any ballistic missile launched from 5,000 kilometers away. BMD consists of two interceptor missiles, namely the Prithvi Air Defense PAD missile for high-altitude interception, and the Advanced Air Defense AAD missile for lower-altitude interception. PAD can take down 300 to 2,000 kilometers class of ballistic missiles at a speed of Mach 5. India is the fourth country in the world to successfully deploy ballistic missile defense system. If put to use at the same time, PAD and AAD can achieve up to 99.8% takedown accuracy. The BMD system can allegedly intercept medium-range ballistic missiles traveling at speeds of Mach 3 to Mach 8. PAD and PDV are designed for mid-course interception, whereas AAD is a terminal phase interception system capable of intercepting missiles after they enter the Earth's atmosphere. According to an unnamed official of the Defense Research Development Organization, a new exo-atmospheric interceptor missile named the Prithvi Defense Vehicle PDV was tested. PDV Prithvi Defense Vehicle mission is for engaging the targets in the exo-atmosphere region at an altitude above 50 kilometers around 31 miles of Earth's atmosphere. Both the PDV interceptor and the two-stage target missile were successfully engaged. In the recently concluded international air combat exercises featuring the Indian Air Force, IAF, Sukhoi-30 MKI fighters and British Royal Air Force Typhoon jets, the Sukhoi-30 MKI outsmarted the Eurofighter Typhoon 12-0 in the within visual range, WVR, dogfighting operations. If the Sukhoi-30 MKI has a tactical advantage over the Typhoon, the same advantage should extend over the Rafale as well, both of which are more expensive than the Russian origin aircraft. The Sukhoi-30 MKI mounts of Impel R-77 MBBRAAM missile and ANIIPN-011M bars, Panther, integrated radar sighting system. The Russian origin plane is capable of performing all tactical tasks of the Su-24 Fencer deep interdiction tactical bomber and the Su-27 flanker A/B/C air superiority fighter while having around twice the combat range and at least 2.5 times the combat effectiveness. To speak in very light notes, Su-30 is a long-range air dominance multi-role combat aircraft. The world knows what a great aircraft the Sukhoi Su-30 MKI is. Although a 4.5th generation fighter, it can beat the US Air Force 5th generation fighter the F-22 Raptor, though only in a dogfight situation and not if Raptor detects it in advance. Sukhoi Su-30 MKI is highly maneuverable, and BrahMos missiles, when fired from Su-30 MKI, have cut warships into half, due to the added velocity of the air superiority fighter jet, to the BrahMos. So when the BrahMos and Sukhoi Su-30 MKI come together, it is a deadly force multiplier. It isn't in the best interests of anyone to face this jet when it is armed with a BrahMos. As part of the war games, Sukhoi-30 MKIs flew 1,800 kilometers bombing missions from the northeast to the western front, with mid-air refueling. This is possible because the Sukhoi has a range of 4.5 hours on internal fuel, and IAF pilots are known to lead missions over 10 hours. In the meantime, the 200 Sukhois and the support cast of 59 MiG-29s, 48 Mirage 2000s and upgraded MiG-21s are more than enough to defend the country and fight a prolonged war. The world's fastest cruise missile in operation, BrahMos travels at speeds of Mach 2.8 to 3.0. Its air-launched variant has been successfully test-fired, and India is now the only country with a supersonic cruise missiles in their Army, Navy, and Air Force. Compared to other missiles of the same category, BrahMos has 3 times more velocity, 3 times more flight range, 4 times more seeker range and 9 times more kinetic range. The current production rate is said to be 100 missiles per year. Also, the missile guarantees pinpoint accuracy with hypersonic speed throughout the flight. They can travel close to the surface of the Earth, which makes them very difficult to detect. BrahMos claims to have the capability of attacking surface targets by flying as low as 10 meters in altitude. The two-stage missile, the first one being solid and the second one ramjet liquid propellant, has already been inducted into the Army and Navy, and the Air Force version is in final stage of trial. The government has approved deployment of the missile's Block 3 version, which has trajectory maneuver and steep dive capabilities for mountain warfare operations, in Arunachal Pradesh to counter China's huge build of military infrastructure.
India possesses weapons of mass destruction in the form of nuclear weapons. Though India has not made any official statements about the size of its nuclear arsenal, recent estimates suggest that India has 110 nuclear weapons, consistent with earlier estimates that it had produced enough weapons-grade plutonium for up to 75 to 110 nuclear weapons. In 1999, India was estimated to have 800 kilograms of separated reactor-grade plutonium, with a total amount of 8,300 kilograms of civilian plutonium. It is enough for approximately 1,000 nuclear weapons. India is not a signatory to the 1968 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, which it argues entrenches the status quo of the existing nuclear weapon states whilst preventing general nuclear disarmament. India currently consists of 3 different types of ballistic missiles: the Agni-1, the Agni-2, the Agni-3, the Army's variant of the Prithvi missile family, the Prithvi-1. Additional variants of the Agni missile series are currently under development, including the most recent, the Agni-4 and Agni-5, which are due to enter full operational service in the near future. Agni-1 to 4 has been inducted in the armed forces. These missiles has ranges from 1,000 to 4,000 plus kilometers. The Sukhoi Jaguar was designed to be able to carry and deploy nuclear weapons, and the Indian Air Force has identified the jet as being capable of delivering Indian nuclear weapons. The Indian Navy has developed 2 sea-based delivery systems for nuclear weapons, completing Indian ambitions for a nuclear triad, which may have been deployed in 2015. The first ISA submarine launched system, consisting of at least 4 6,000-ton nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines of the Arahant class, of which one has been deployed to service. The second is a ship-launched system based around the short-range ship-launched Dhanush ballistic missile, a variant of the Prithvi missile. It has a range of around 300 kilometers.